I have this problem with a lot of kids' movies. They're written for the lowest common denominator. Don't write for the lowest common denominator.
So-
Don't be Illumination. Don't write Minions.
Thank you.
Screw Minions. Hi, I'm Zach, and welcome to Not Great, Not Terrible, the show where we review mediocre movies from the not-so-distant past. Today we're taking a look at Minions, a computer-animated comedy film which came out in 2015. And incredibly enough, this movie is the perfect embodiment of everything wrong with modern animation. So the movie starts out with a minionized version of the Universal Studios theme. This really should have prepared me for the amount of pain I was about to experience, and any sane person would immediately turn off the movie upon hearing this, but I had no choice but to continue. We then get to Minions being terrible minions to various villains throughout history. They kill a dinosaur, squash a pharaoh, fry Dracula, and shoot Napoleon. Jump forward and it's the 1960s, and apathy has taken hold, which, interestingly, is about how I felt watching this. So the Minions need a new evil boss, so they send out some minions into the world to find one. And at this point, we start to meet our characters. We've got a small minion with one eye, small minion with two eyes, and tall minion with two eyes. Apparently, they're named Stuart, Bob, and Kevin, but I still have no f***ing clue which is which. There's also some human characters, but honestly, the only one you need to care about is the main baddie, Scarlet Overkill. The rest are completely pointless. So, back to story. The three minions end up in New York, where all sorts of shenanigans occur. Then they learn about VillainCon in Orlando, so they decide to go there and find a new villainous master. They hitch a ride from a family that also happens to be rather evil, and for some reason they rob a bank and blow up some cops. They arrive in Orlando and accidentally win the baddie's competition to become her new henchman. Then they're off to England to steal the Queen's crown. However, one of the minions accidentally becomes king, which really pisses off the baddie because apparently she wanted to rule England instead. She locks up the minions, but they break out and drop a chandelier on her head, which, of course, makes her extremely mad, but somehow doesn't kill her. There's some random chaos and destruction, for some reason that villain family from earlier is here, and the minions somehow defeat Scarlet. I think it involved one of them being the size of a tower block, but by this point, I was too busy banging my head against my desk to really notice. Anyways, Queen Elizabeth becomes the queen again, but wait, Scarlet somehow survived. Again. But before she can exact her revenge, she's frozen into an ice cube by a young Gru, in a callback to the only good movie in this series. After seeing this, the minions decide that maybe he should be their new boss instead. So here's the thing. This movie is not funny. The only times I even approached laughter were entirely from what the f*** is this moments, which is honestly a reaction I have with far too many movies I watch for this series. I watched Minions with an odd combination of horror and incredulity. Like, this film is impressively pointless. There's no real story here, and what little plot it has is filled with generic characters and poop jokes. And I wasn't kidding with what I said earlier. This movie truly is a depressing microcosm of everything wrong with modern animation. Like, obviously effort was put into making it look nice, and the animation is actually pretty decent as a result, but the content absolutely does not justify this effort. This movie is such an obvious cash grab, it's not even funny. It exists entirely because some bean counter at Universal saw the sales figures from Minions toys. And he was right on the money. This movie somehow made $1.1 billion in the box office. What's really depressing is that, after this movie made bank, the accountants at Universal and Illumination decided a second film was in order. And my reaction to learning that was, well... Oh my god, it is the thing! Oh god, it's coming out next year! It'll be out in 2021, and please, for the love of God, don't see it. I can guarantee that it'll just be another mediocre film full of shitty jokes and unremarkable characters. But of course, it'll still make a shitload of money. And really, this is why Minions bugs me so much. Animated films used to be good. They used to be something the whole family could sit down and watch together, and everyone would be entertained. But it seems more and more that animated films are only targeting children, and not putting any thought at all into keeping Dad from being bored out of his skull in the theater. I know many adults who adore animated films. Hell, I'm one of them. And it's been shown that you can make excellent animated films that appeal to people of all ages. But these sorts of films are becoming few and far between, and if the industry keeps trending towards these low-effort cash grabs, there's no other way to put it. Animation is screwed. So do I recommend you watch Minions? Of course I don't. Don't watch this film. Don't watch its sequel coming out next year. Don't give them your hard-earned money. And please, don't encourage these shitty low-effort cash grabs. Minions is a film that exists purely for the pursuit of profit. They're not trying to tell a story. They're trying to make the f***ing shareholders happy. This isn't art, it's greed on the silver screen. And if you have any appreciation whatsoever for the film industry, I beg you, do not support Minions or any other movie like it. There are so many good family films out there, and for the love of God, please pick one of those instead. Anyways, I've been Zach. This has been Not Great, Not Terrible. Thanks for watching.